EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. Treasure Coast Connector is the talk show and online community where we put a spotlight on interesting local businesses and resources, then connect them to you, the consumers in the community. Everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. And when we learn about what's happening in our own backyard and support local businesses, it strengthens our local economy. For details on the show, links to discounts, promos, past interviews, check out www.tcconnector.com. Now, many business owners feel like their business is running them instead of them running their business. And knowing when it's the right time to hire someone or, use an outsourced service provider, it's not always easy, okay? But joining me in the studio today is Jamie Lee Carmichael, and she is the owner of C-Suite Services. Now, this is a fractional C-Suite solutions provider, solutions service, and she has a lot of wonderful information and tips to share with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
I am so glad that you are here. Before we dive into it, now people understand C-Suite as the executive, so it's the letter C hyphen suite. Mm-hmm. But your company name is adorable because we're on the Treasure Coast, and I want people that are watching can see the graphic. But for those listening on iHeartRadio and the podcast, it's SEA Suite, SWEET Services. Very adorable name, Jamie.
Thank you. I can't take any credit. It literally came to me in a dream.
Oh,
C-Suite is what I do, but the sea, being near the ocean, is what I love more than life itself.
Oh, well, that is good. And, and now with the way we can work with technology, you could even bring your laptop to the beach.
I could.
I'm just saying.
I could.
That's a good idea.
Maybe I have.
You probably have, and that is quite all right. So now, what made you want to start your company, C-Suite Services?
Well, I have been doing this about 150 years,
mm-hmm.
and I know you might think it's crazy, but what I do is the only thing that I have ever wanted to do. I started out literally 100 years ago on Wall Street.
I love saying that. I actually say 105 years ago when I want to say something happened a few decades ago. Yeah.
It literally feels like that long ago.
And you were on Wall Street.
I was on Wall Street, back office, not doing any kind of administrative work, although I always supported my manager, not in a paid capacity. I just did it because it's what I love to do. And then I was a manager. I kept getting promotions. I was a manager. And I'm like, this is not what I want to be doing. This is not what I want to be doing. Mm-hmm. So I left that, took a huge pay cut, went out into the world, became an assistant. You don't become a C-suite assistant overnight.
Right. We're not talking about just a secretary or front desk.
Right.
We're talking that high-level, executive-level
CFO,
assistant.
Chairman, CEO.
Yeah. And you're even dealing with family offices as well.
Yes.
So the very wealthy family
mm-hmm.
offices.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, very good. And I love that. And I like that you knew that that's what you wanted. Because I'm 105 and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
I love to be the right-hand person, like the person
mm-hmm.
you can't live without. That's what I strive to be.
Yes. And I love that. So now I also liked what you wrote under your logo, your premier C-Suite fractional
mm-hmm.
assistance solution. So now what exactly does that mean? Because you're not just a virtual assistant. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But there's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So explain this, please.
So you usually hear the term fractional with a usually a CFO role.
Sure.
Because a company might not need, especially a startup company or a small company, might not need a CFO there full time, but they need the help and they need the expertise. So they hire a fractional CFO who comes in by either contract or part-time or for a certain amount of time. So that's what I wanted to offer in the same high-level service that you would get if you were a CEO or a CFO, and on a fractional basis where I'm not taking up space in your office. You're not paying me benefits. We work on the same way. So either a contract base or a part-time basis or hours per month or whatever makes sense for the business, and you're not paying all the extra. And I don't take up real estate in your office unless you need me to, because I'm flexible. I go where you need me to be.
That's very good. And of course, we're talking about the fact that you live here in Vero. We're on the Treasure Coast of Florida. And we're going to get into like companies and the types of businesses that I can really see you helping tremendously. But because of the fact that we are virtual now, you can work with clients wherever they are, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My biggest client is in DC right now.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So, yeah, you're helping him with a little bit of a strategical move or something like that you mentioned.
He's a little handful.
Yeah, well, any type of move is stressful. So now, and there's a lot of business owners that, like I said in the intro, they struggle to do it all, right? They're starting a business, things are going well, money is coming in. It's just some people might not understand this. A business is a business when you have clients that are paying you, okay? So the money is coming in, but then all of a sudden, they're getting up extra early and they're doing administrative things for themselves or their bookkeeping or marketing because during the day, during the week, they're dealing with sales and with clients. And then after 5 o'clock, before they know it, it's 10 o'clock and they're still working on their business. So what are some of the tips or advice that you have for people that are feeling like this? How do they go and take that plunge to get that help?
So I initially started my business I had the same business, but a different name when I lived in Charlotte. And at the time I wrote an article and the title of the article was Play to Your Strengths. So like you said, you started the business, you have something that you like to do, something you love to do. It's your passion. It's what makes you money, but you spend more time in the business than working on your business. So that's usually the first clue. If you're spending more time running the business than actually doing your business, then it might be time to look at outsourcing some things. For myself personally, I am fully capable of cleaning my bathroom. I just don't want to. So I have somebody that cleans my house. I outsource it.
I have a personal shopper and a cook. That would be my husband, Omar.
Yes. And
isn't that nice?
I understand.
Cindy's not
that.
even laughing. She knows Omar. She's like, poor Omar.
I am.
But no, that is a good thing to outsource that.
So outsource it. And then also is, when you figure out what what your dollar amount is that you are making per hour, or what you need to make per hour, are you spending more of your man hours working your business than the cost it would be to outsource some of it? And it doesn't have to be the same person. So you don't have to hire somebody like me to do everything. If you have something simple, you can hire a virtual assistant that can do your social media posting, for fractions of the time and the money that you would spend doing it, especially when they know how to do it and you might not be an expert at it.
Yeah, or even somebody like, they're for example, a business owner might be out and about meeting people, and then they have all of these business cards, and it's like, have someone do the data entry, have someone do an initial email. Hey, it was nice, meeting you, and just some of the follow-up kind of things. So that way that business owner can then do the more in-depth, sales type activities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I really like that a lot. And you know what we're going to do? because I don't want to interrupt you when you're answering a question. We're almost at that 10-minute mark. You believe it?
Wow.
I know. I told you it goes by very fast. So before we do take the break in the first half, give people your web address and how you want people to get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, my website is www.csuiteservices.com. My phone number is on there. You can drop me an email, give me a call, text me. The phone number is my cell number.
Yeah, so it's 217-7798.
Correct.
And your office is a beautiful office on 6th Avenue in that Bank of America building, the Regis.
The Regis Suites, which they're fantastic.
They are.
I love them so much.
Yeah, really, really nice. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break, but Jamie Lee Carmichael of C-Suite Services, she and I have a lot more to discuss. Stay tuned.
If you operate a small business, you need services like payroll, tax compliance, HR tools, and other resources. You need Complete Employee Solutions. Vero Beach has a team of professionals, including Anthony Sammons, Matt McCain, and Jennifer Comer, who saw the need for competent payroll, HR, and employee leasing services. Call Complete Employee Solutions at 772-978-7277 or visit their website at CompleteEmployeeSolutions.com.
Big news, Treasure Coast. Your favorite mortgage team just got even better. Introducing the same trusted faces you know and love, now with Union Home Mortgage.
Hi, this is Shannon Pohl.
Hi, this is Lucy Cranker.
And these high-producing team members bring decades of experience, unwavering honesty, and hearts of gold to every home loan. And here's the best part. Same local processing, underwriting, and appraisers you rely on. Contact Union Home Mortgage.
Visit us online at shannoncpohl.com
and lucycranker.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal Coastal Living, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a huge fall sale with lots of great markdowns and discounts on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of brand name closeout and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been chatting with Jamie Lee Carmichael, the owner of C-Suite Services. And what I wanted to pick up with, because we were talking about what it is that you do, but now I'd like to know, are there any types of businesses or industries that, you work with, and talk about your ideal type of a client?
So as far as industries, over my 150 years that I've been doing this, I've worked in many industries, aerospace, finance, accounting, real estate. I worked for the U.S. Navy at one point. So I've been all over. So the industry doesn't really matter.
Right.
What it is the care of the executive. And the care of the executive is the same. And with a good assistant, obviously, if you're working with a lawyer, it's different than working with a doctor. So there are things that you have to learn. But a good assistant doesn't have to know how to do everything. They just have to know how to get everything done. And that's the difference between a good assistant. So I've worked the gamut of all different industries. A perfect client for me is somebody that is looking for a trusted partner. that right-hand person, the one that you're like, if she's sick, I don't know what I'm going to do today. You know, that is, and it doesn't matter man or woman. My very first client was a woman in Charlotte, and I had just started my business there, and I had gone to a networking event, the NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners.
Yes.
I did my 2-minute pitch, and she was my client before I walked out the door. And I worked for her for a year and a half. I had to close my business because I moved to San Diego to take care of my dad. But she stayed on with me, even though I did no work for her. She stayed on with me for another 6 months.
Wow.
Just because we had such a friendship after that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then here on, in Vero Beach, as a matter of fact, I read somewhere that Vero Beach, especially those that live on the Barrier Island, we have a huge portion of retired CEOs compared to anywhere else, I think, on the East Coast. That at least I read that somewhere. And a lot of times, these CEOs and CFOs, they retire, and then they find themselves busier than they have ever been before because they're on boards of other companies, and we have a lot of, philanthropic events. They get involved with the nonprofits, and then they also have estates to manage. And that's also where you shine.
Exactly. The CEOs retire from companies and usually lose their assistants at that time. And they're like, okay, well, I'm just retired. And then they find themselves, oh, you're on one board, then you're on another board. Next thing you know, you're on 3 boards, which is usually involves travel quarterly. Again, you said philanthropic work.
Yeah.
So there's, administrative stuff to do that, and travel arrangements and things along that nature. And
they own multiple homes,
coordinating the vendors and the workers and events that you might be having. All of that kind of thing is something that you need assistance with, but that's where you're not going to hire a virtual assistant. You want somebody that is your trusted partner, but maybe that's not somebody that you need to have on staff 24/7 or, 40 hours a week or whatever. That's where a good fractional assistant that's there for you when you need it.
Yes, I love that. So now if you could go into more detail now on the different services. I mean, your website is fantastic. But we have people that are listening and watching. What do we have? Over 4,000 on live stream alone. We're live on live stream. We have a huge following of people right now.
It's not intimidating.
Yeah, of course. I'm just kidding. I'm a kidder. Everybody knows that. But all kidding aside, though, it's very impressive, the list of services. So why don't you go and give us some detail on that?
So on my website, it's broken down into 3 sections. It's executive support, travel services, and comprehensive notary services. So I have a full, I've been a notary everywhere that I've ever lived. I've added remote online notary, which is new to me. So I just added that. I've all different certifications, notary work. The travel support, as an assistant for 157 years, I've done a lot of travel in corporate. So I've worked with travel agents, and I've also worked within the company travel portal and all of that stuff. So I wanted to offer travel support for my clients. So I also got a certificate in travel planning. So I work with a travel agency, but now I can offer full service travel planning. And because I've done so much travel, all of my executives have traveled extensively. I provide a detailed itinerary from the day you wake up, morning of travel, until you get back in bed the night you get home. So that I've been successful in travel all my career is that I walk that trip for my executives every step of the way, so everything is covered for them. And then executive support, it runs the gamut, because as a C-suite assistant, your day doesn't end in the office, and it doesn't end at 5 o'clock. Right. You're on call 24/7. You're called to do a million. I've taken my executive spouses for their colonoscopy appointments. I've dog sat for them. I've, picked up the mail and driven it 100 miles to where they were staying. It just doesn't stop at the office door or at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I love that. And then, okay, so now what about some stories, some interesting stories that you'd like to share?
So I will tell you, if the life of a C-suite assistant, if you've ever seen the movie A Devil Wears Prada, that is not an exaggeration. That is the life of a C-suite assistant. Yeah. Most recently, my biggest client was traveling in Germany. And he was there for 2 days, and he had a quick turnaround and was coming back to the States to a different location where he was expected at a black tie event. And it was a tight connection, and his flight was canceled, and they put him on a flight that was getting him in later. And he's like, this can't happen. This can't happen. So we ended up, I had him booked on 3 different flights. And then he's like, I hate to ask you to do this, but, where I'm at, I'm going to be home really, really late. I'm afraid I'm going to miss the flight. Can you stay up and make sure that I'm on the flight? Because he was in Europe, make sure that I'm on the flight and make sure I get home on time. So I made sure he was on the flight. We canceled the other flights because that's a no-no to have 3 different flights. Of
course.
And then in the meantime, on the state side, his companion, I was trying to get her from where they lived to this alternate location. And my driver canceled on me at the last minute.
Oh my goodness.
So I have the driver apologizing because it was unavoidable. But it's a lot of scrambling, and so it's making connections and relationships that people can who to call when you need somebody to step in and make things happen. But he when he got home, he's like, I wasn't worried about anything because I knew you had me.
Oh, very nice. And as you're talking, there's another person I want to connect you with, and that's Robin Dusterman from Interstate Express. So this is a courier service here on the Treasure Coast, and she goes to some of Anna's lunches, but I don't think your paths have crossed yet.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
But when you mentioned about bringing mail 100 miles, that is something that she will do. You know what I mean? So I really think that the two of you need to know about each other.
That would be a good thing, even for the notary thing, too.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, with documents and
getting to the Secretary of State.
Yeah, she even had one of her people go across to the west coast of Florida to pick up a diamond that was purchased and then hand deliver it to the vacation location in the Keys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she wear the diamond all the way?
No.
Okay.
I would be tempted, but no. So we have just a couple of minutes left. So what I want to make sure we talk about in the second half is your contact information again, because this is a much needed. I just know that the people that are listening and watching, especially the folks on the Barrier Island, they're going to be like, where has Jamie Lee been for these 150 years? You've been in New York City. You've been in Charlotte.
Maryland, D.C., California.
But now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Very good.
Happy as a clam.
Oh, on the beach. Okay. And so, yes. All right. You have 1 minute left to share how people can get in touch with you.
Well, my website is csuiteservices.com, and my phone number is 772-217-7798. It's a cell phone, so you can text me, call me, email me. My email is on my website, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
Very good. And so C-Suite, for the people that are listening on iHeartRadio on the podcast, it's SEASWEET services with an S.com.
Correct.
Right. And I really do like that play on the name. And I like the fact that you're very consultative, so that you want to hear all of what's happening in that person's life, so that you can, I know we only have a few seconds left, so that you can, scale up or down as people are busier or not.
Absolutely.
And you work with people in all different ways, which is fantastic. So for you, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And for everyone that is listening and watching, my name is Ellen Contreras. I am the host of Treasure Coast Connector. And I really do feel I've been doing this show for like 5.5 years, and I just know that Jamie Lee is going to be the answer to a lot of the small, medium, and large-sized businesses here on the Treasure Coast and beyond. And until next week, I hope that everyone has a safe, productive, wonderful week, and I miss you already.